Down?
Yep.
Go for it.
Hello and welcome to Cash Furnace. My name is Paul Kinzerski, and together with my co host, Eric Downs, we aim to become your go to source for stock and crypto news. Today's date is February 10th, 2021. In today's podcast, we're going to cover today's flash crash, regular stock market. In crypto news, we're going to start looking at Amazon. They're hiring to create its own crypto in its Mexican branches. ETH 2.0 hits its highest validation prices ever. And we're gonna look at the charts and give a little bit of a Bitcoin and Ethereum price update for everybody as it slowed down a little bit in the past couple days. Thank you for tuning in. If you like what you see and you want the news to keep coming, make sure to hit those big three: like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. Help us help you help people make more money, and let's make some money.
Let's do it.
Eric, today's flash crash.
Okay.
Let's go.
So, if you were watching the market this morning, you may have noticed that at around, oh gosh, what was it? Around 7:30 Pacific time, you may have noticed you pooping your pants. And the reason for this just below 388 in a matter of about
Eric, you're gonna have to restart because we lost you there. The reason for this,
lovely.
that
God,
internet.
I love. Like, comment, and subscribe so we can monetize our page and I can afford, I don't know, whatever I need to make my internet work. Anyway, am I back? You got me?
You're back. You're back.
Okay. So, if you were, if you checked out, if you were following the market this morning, you saw that the S&P, starting at around 7 a.m. Through around 7:30, had a huge flash crash, opening at 392, dropping down below 388 in what seemed like minutes. And it took a lot of stocks with it. Up really, really green this morning and went really, really red in what felt like the blink of an eye. And it almost felt like an earthquake to me. It was so short, and then after it's done, you're just like, what just happened? This came out of nowhere.
Right.
It sucks. Honestly, it sucks because I'm looking around for news. You know, some like one of the discords I'm on is looking for news. Nobody can find anything. No one came out with a big announcement. Biden didn't, crap on a beluga whale somewhere. Like, nothing insane happened. But the market dropped significantly. And
That might be my favorite phrase moving forward.
All right, mark that one down.
But Biden didn't take a dump on a beluga whale. Okay, sorry, continue.
So, you always, when these crazy instantaneous market moves happen, you want to know why. The worst part about the whole thing is not understanding why, because then you don't know what to do.
Right.
And so everyone searched around for a reason. And when we all collectively come up with absolutely nothing, the only remaining explanation for this is algos.
Yep.
Now, for those of you who don't know what algos are, they take up about 70% of trading volume in the stock market.
Yes.
And these are computers. You think the stock market, obviously Wall Street isn't, New York Stock Exchange isn't open right now. But if you think that when you're trading your stonks, when you're buying, selling GameStop, if you think there's a human being on the other end of that, there's a 70% chance that you're wrong.
Right.
You're most likely trading against a computer algorithm that has been written and tuned to kick your ass.
Mm-hmm.
And
will do so without emotion and ruthlessly.
And without warning either.
Yep.
Just like today. Now, can I say for 100% certainty, with 100% certainty, that it was an algo that decided it's time, the S&P reached a certain point, it's time to dump, or maybe it was a certain sector and the S&P was actually the reflection of it. I'm not actually sure. I can't say that with certainty what actually happened, but the fact that we have no news catalyst that we can ascribe this flash crash to is, I mean, to me, it's the only other explanation
Right,
that I'm
right.
aware of. Of course, I'm not a
Especially,
market expert, but
especially showing that we recovered throughout the rest of the day, right?
yeah, we largely, we opened 392, we ended up closing at 390,
Right, right.
um, but for that quick second, man, it really was like an earthquake,
Yep.
and I can only hope, that our wise viewers out there, the hundreds of you that watch this show, are are diamond handed enough to know that the best thing to do in these circumstances is most likely to hold, or if you're really
Yep.
bold, what I like to do when a position, or in this case the entire market, goes against me, it's like, you know what, panic a little bit, freak out a little bit, it's natural to do that. It's okay. It means your emotions still work. But to the best of your ability, I always like to look at these circumstances and say, if I wasn't holding the positions I was holding, what would I be doing? And the answer,
Bye.
9 times out of 10, is buy.
Yep.
So,
So did you
luckily,
capitalize today?
I did a little bit, yes.
Nice. All right.
So, luckily, when the market opened as green as it was, when that happens, man, my first thought right away is, what's ready? What's ripe for picking?
Right.
What can I shut off? And so I closed a lot of positions today before this happened. I'm very thankful for that. Some of which recovered completely, most of which didn't. So I was like, okay, cool, man. I got out right before the gun fired. I didn't get all of them. Luckily, a lot of them recovered, but there were a handful at the bottom that I picked up. One of them was Twitter, that you know about, Paulie.
Yep.
I also ended up averaging down on my long purple calls, which I am doing as part of the Purple Challenge, which you can follow along as I give you daily updates on TikTok to test my ability to trade purple stock to get a free purple mattress. Again, follow me at the PRPL Challenge. Anyway, in order to try and fulfill that challenge a little better, I averaged down on my purple calls, and it was a great opportunity. Purple didn't recover that well today, but it's an opportunity. You take it as best as you could, and the better you can stay clear-minded. And like I said, literally, to me, it's like mentally getting out of the trade. Like, don't even pretend I have a trade on right now.
Yep.
Pretend I don't.
Yep.
And then you can analyze it more rationally. So, yeah, man, it was a crazy thing. You never know when they're going to happen, but you have to be mentally prepared for it. And it's just it comes with the territory.
The craziest thing I find about algos is that you'd think like the top physicists and mathematicians in the world are out there perfecting their craft and, bettering humanity. They're at hedge funds creating algorithms to make money.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's kind of a sad point, but it's just a true point. That's where the money is. That's where they go. They get paid millions of dollars a year to do so. And it's funny when there's like a glitch in the system like this. I believe, what was it, 2014? We had the biggest flash crash ever, and that was based off
Really?
this genius. Yeah, there's entire documentaries about it. This guy in London, trading out of his house, managed to crash the market with like $20 million because he realized how to manipulate the algos, and he came out of it with like 200 million. But
wow.
Yeah, it was he still lived in his parents' house in the basement, and nobody knew what was going on. It was like month-long investigations, all that stuff. But since then, there's a lot of protections that have been put into place for algorithms, right? Because people will lose their ass off of nothing, like you said. And so the SEC and stuff wanted to put in a bunch of protections, which is probably why, even though we saw a pretty hefty sell-off, it wasn't far worse today because
Yeah.
there are now safety checks in place to make sure that never happens again. But
Man.
it's funny you say you use it as an opportunity. Just because I'm not super experienced in the stock market, but I see it all the time in crypto, right? And all of a sudden you'll get a ton of panic, which will drive the price down even further when you see a big drop like that, right?
Hmm.
And the go-to, at least for me, is exactly what you guys did. You look for news, you decide, okay, the fundamentals here have not changed. There is nothing new. You can make your position stronger in the market. You could use this to your advantage by doing the exact opposite of what everybody's doing. And
Hmm.
I think that's a good thing to note, but also note that it can be the opposite as well. If you're holding a stock or an option and you see all of a sudden the price just skyrocket 30% out
Yeah.
of nowhere, and you see
Yep.
no news, no nothing, sell.
Yep.
Because
That's right.
chances are not there's not enough insider information to make that stock rise that much where people actually know something that's not publicly publicized, right? So, yeah, just a little tidbit for anybody who wants to elevate their game a little bit today. So,
I was gonna say, I don't know, I think I lost you for a second, but that almost never happens midday. You know,
yep,
the big news that comes out is always announced pre or post market. And
absolutely.
I don't know if that's because I don't know if that's an SEC regulation, or I don't know if that they just don't want to shock the
I
market, you know,
I
when
think that's
crazy.
the biggest thing. I think that if a major organization that has a lot of credibility decided to do something like that, where they released, I don't know, huge news at 11 o'clock, um, and we saw a subsequent market dump, that would absolutely blow back on them. It would be seen as almost like a manipulation of the market, and
Yeah.
people would be pissed.
Yeah,
You never know, I
it's
guess, right?
true. Well, anyway,
Sometimes shit just tanks.
yep.
On to
And
crypto.
gone to crypto.
So we have big news, really big news. Amazon hasn't officially announced it yet. However, they are now hiring crypto engineers for their branches in Mexico. They are looking to, and all the job descriptions totally lay it out. They are looking to create their own crypto to utilize Amazon specific um, products. So, in their idea is the consumer will be able to cash into Amazon's digital currency, to which users can utilize all the services, Prime Video, Prime, there's Prime everything now as a new payment product. And I guarantee you, if you utilize this coin, you will get a small percentage off of their services.
Hmm.
This is very similar to what you and I have been so bullish on with Facebook, right? All of a sudden, with one fell swoop, Amazon is going to become a massive bank on top of everything else. It's going to be crazy. Now, we don't know when this is going to happen or how hard they're going to implement it or if they're even going to implement it in the US. But regardless, it doesn't really matter if they implement it in the US, right? The rest of the world is in far more dire of a need for a serious, legitimate banking system that they could trust than major established first world countries. And I think that's why they're starting in Mexico. And as soon as they establish a use case in a place like Mexico, South America, they could spread to everywhere. Africa. It doesn't really matter. India, huge potential markets and markets that are coming up.
Well, Polly, I was glitching the hell out for the last
Yeah,
part of
I
what you said.
noticed.
But
Well, it's
I
just
think I understood. I think I know what you were getting at from what I picked up. And your outlook on Facebook,
mm,
because like in comparison to Facebook becoming a big bank, because you have to wonder when you're talking about human assets, right? You're talking about users. See that as an extremely valuable, extremely valuable resource for Facebook.
right, right.
But what's interesting is that when it comes to money,
Damn, Eric, we really got to help your internet.
that though they may not have the most users, they'll have the most commerce users.
Right.
Which one do you think is more important for amassing crypto bank dominance? Having the most active
That's
users or the most active commerce users?
well, I mean, the first thing, the my first instinct is to say commerce, right? E-commerce, you literally need currency in order to use their services, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if Amazon, I mean, speaking from my perspective, I have a freaking package here every other day. I buy everything through Amazon. I have their credit card and it gives me 5% cash back on every purchase I make on there. So why would I buy groceries when I could buy groceries and get 5% cash back, right? It's a smart move. If they offer something like that where if you buy through an Amazon credit card with the crypto points, now you get 10% cash back, I guarantee you I'm using that shit
Yeah,
immediately.
I have that same credit card and I do the same
Yeah,
thing.
right. It's a genius move on their part to offer such a high percentage cash back.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be just as genius to do something very similar with a cryptocurrency. And it would be instantly utilized, dude. Instantly. So I
I have to
guess it
say,
it would be smarter and it would work better than Facebook. The only difference is that Facebook's Facebook has a broader outreach, so they would be able to hit the undeveloped areas that Amazon wouldn't be able to really reach yet, right? Amazon doesn't really have services in Latin America, in Africa, except for very already developed small areas of it. So I don't know. I think it would have a higher use case. Yes, as as you implied.
hmm,
Interesting. Crazy
that
things.
is
But that
interesting.
is major news for crypto.
Agreed, agreed. I hear you have
On to
more.
the next. Yes, Ethereum. We've been talking about it. And what we haven't talked about much is Ethereum 2.0, right? So, right now, one of the major problems with the Ethereum network are how high the gas fees are getting. And we talked about the gas fees yesterday, right? Um, Basically, gas fees are just a calculation about how much network services are needed in order to complete that transaction on whatever Ethereum token you're using. And essentially, right now, they're extraordinarily high. They're higher than they've ever been, to the point where exchanges were actually shutting Ethereum down. So it's interesting to see because they want to develop what is called Ethereum 2.0. And there are test cases out. There are people called validators who run nodes for Ethereum 2.0. Now, because we're not fully into the 2.0 network yet, Ethereum, it's like 1.5. There are still two ways to make money with Ethereum. One is the traditional way that you make money with any cryptocurrency. You become a miner and you mine that cryptocurrency with energy, with computing power by solving more and more complex calculations as time goes on. But the new way is when you become a node and a validator, so people get to use your computer power to basically utilize their currency. You get rewarded for that, right? Today, Ethereum 2.0 validators, the ones that have locked up their Ethereum to get tested, they earn their highest daily total income ever at $1.2 million. Now, this only accounted for roughly 2% of what the traditional miners earned, which was like right around 52 million. However, there's an incredibly small amount of validators right now. And it's showing a ton of promise because that 2% in comparison to how many miners there is a very small percentage. So it's looking like it's going to be more rewarding to have this Ethereum 2.0 validation than it is to actually be a traditional miner, which is a very, very good sign moving forward that Ethereum 2.0 is in fact the way to go. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, from what I could hear, which is only half of it because my internet blows. But I got a lot of it.
Yeah.
My one question, Paulie, is how does one be? And if you answered them, I apologize. How does one
So
become
in the
a
beginning,
validator?
when they launched that they were going to be testing validation for Ethereum 2.0, what you did was you became basically a guinea pig, and you had to lock a certain amount of your Ethereum into the validation network for, I believe it was at least 7 months in order to test it. So that's how the small amount of validators that are out there right now are a node. In the future, when this is all implemented and 2.0 is running, what you will need is 32 Ethereum, and you personally can run a node on your computer. However, not everybody's going to be able to have 32 Ethereum, right? That's pretty damn pricey. So what you're going to be able to do is basically pool your Ethereum with a bunch of different people, and everybody will share the rewards that come out of that in the future as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
but it's a very good sign because it means we're trending in the right direction, right? And this test network is showing that the fees are going to be lower and the validators are going to get paid more. So basically, overall, a very good indicator for the future for Ethereum's use case, which I'm happy about. Now,
Wow.
speaking of
Beautiful.
Ethereum, we're going to take a look at some pricing. So Ethereum right now is sitting at about 1720. Now, for everybody that might be getting a little frustrated, right? Because while we saw this massive Bitcoin blow through that $40 resistance, Ethereum's really just been hovering right at 1750, 1800 Ethereum, not 18,000, I wish. And we're seeing a lot of resistance here. However, when Bitcoin dropped today, which was a pretty significant pullback, not too crazy, but $4,000, we saw it hold its relative value pretty well. And I believe that it's going to, if Bitcoin continues to drop, I think it might be actually a good place to hold your money while we're waiting for crypto to consolidate for that next leg up. And the reason why I think Ethereum's not really going to tank that hard is because so many people now are understanding its use case and its potential future value. If you follow a bunch of crypto online influencers, YouTubers, guys on Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. All there has been over the past couple weeks is bullish Ethereum predictions, Ethereum to 10K, Ethereum to 20K, use cases, theories on why it should be valued at 20K already, et cetera, et cetera. And people, even though retail investors are the only ones that have bought into this right now, pretty much, people are really excited and they have a lot of faith right now that this price is going to skyrocket. It's just a matter of when. So I think it's a really good sign, and I don't think we're going to tank too hard. Now, if there is a major catalyst where all of a sudden it shakes everybody's faith in the system, then we're going to see serious sell-off because we don't have institutions in there with really strong hands. But I don't see that catalyst right now in Ethereum's future. I think we are still very bullish for the next couple months, and for the general crypto market as a whole. And I think Ethereum's going to hold its value really well. Now, onto Bitcoin. What we saw was a bit of a pullback. We're sitting right now about 44,500, almost on the nose, right? And that's coming from a high of 4070 and some change. Now, again, everybody's giving me messages saying, is this the top? Should I sell here? And guys, it is such a tiny pullback. And we had such a green candle off of Tesla's announcement that they bought Bitcoin. This is just healthy. Everybody's got to chill, take a nice deep breath, and realize that this is how markets work. They go up and they go down, unlike what Portnoy says, unfortunately. So here's where I see Bitcoin potentially going to if this bearish, very short-term view plays out. So the last heavy area that we had buy-ins was right around the $40,000 to $39,000 mark, right? So there is potential that we go down there short term over the next week or so. However, what I think is going to happen is we're just going to slowly downtrend in a channel, coil up, see that volume rise, and then just break right through towards the next 55, 60K level. I think we're going to see 55, 60K in probably within a month time frame, which is pretty crazy to think about. Yeah.
Wow.
That is a big bet. I'm not
Big bet
taking
there,
any
Paulie.
t-shirt bets again. But there is no reason right now to be bearish on Bitcoin. This is very healthy. This is how markets work. We just hit a huge new high and had one of the biggest daily candles in a really long time off that Tesla news. So this is just a healthy little pullback. Nothing to be worried about. Yeah.
I agree. I must say the case for Ethereum is interesting though in reference to Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin is the McDonald's of the crypto world in how popular and well recognized it is, and like McDonald's, it's not necessarily the best. It's just the most widespread. So naturally, having if Elon's going to invest in something, he's going to invest in McDonald's, right? He's not going to invest in, Peggy Sue's diner down in the corner. Now, if we have Ethereum sort of hovering, like you're talking about, it kind of makes me think about like when Bitcoin was hovering,
right?
Around the 33 range, and then Elon came in and just kind of broke us out of the channel in one fell swoop, and immediately set us on a different plane. The fundamentals may not have changed too much, but he just said, "Oh, we're down here. I'm just going to raise." would really benefit from that sort of push.
Absolutely,
But I don't
yes.
think it's something that we can. I mean, personally, I don't think it's something we can ever expect
No, I
to
don't
ever
think so.
happen
I don't think so.
because
Not within the next year or 2 years. There will be people. There will be major TV networks, Kramer, etc. They will be touting Ethereum as a great buy in the future, but it's not going to be for a couple of years, at
right.
least.
Well, it doesn't have, it doesn't have the mainstream societal appeal that Bitcoin does right
Right.
now. Even if Bitcoin isn't, whether Bitcoin has a future as a currency is irrelevant. Right now, it's perceived as a currency, and that's something we all understand. We all understand. Oh, it's an alternative to our dollar.
Right.
Ethereum it doesn't enjoy that luxury. It doesn't enjoy that perception because it's a framework to build much cooler things.
Right.
But will love talking about a Porsche driving by, but no one's going to talk about the engineering behind in the engine of it.
Right.
No one's
Right.
like, wow, that's a cool engine. No, it's a cool car.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's the thing with Ethereum is that no one's going to pump it for a long time, right? Like you said,
Right.
probably because it's a fringe technology. It's a really amazing fringe technology, but it's not as accessible as currency,
Right.
which is something we all understand.
Right. And
So,
let's be honest, I'm sure someone as smart and as connected as Elon, has gotten explained to him what Ethereum is, what the network is, what the potential future value of this is. And I guarantee you he has some in a stockpile, in his own personal
sure.
stockpile, right? But if
Yep.
you're going to put your company's assets somewhere, you want it to be in an alternative, right? 30 years ago, if Tesla was around, maybe they decide to put 5% of their cash reserves into gold, right? Because they're diversifying a little bit.
Hmm.
This is the quote unquote digital gold, right? There is the use case of it is it's going to be a store of value for the future because of the limited supply. And that's where you want to put something as safe as cash. That's where you want to put your assets. You don't want to be betting on something, a new technology just yet that's really still in its infancy, right? I mean,
Hmm.
I think it would be a smart move, but he also has how many board members and millions of investors that he has to explain these things to. And right now, every single one of those people that have at least enough significant power to make his life like a living hell, right? If he decides to make a shitty investment with his company's cash, they don't even understand Ethereum, nor do they care about it right now.
Right.
However, this is why almost all of my gains when it comes to trading is going into Ethereum right now. This is the next underutilized asset. This is the next one that nobody's looking at and nobody's looking over. And everything, damn near everything, is built on it.
Yep.
This is
This is
investing in Middle Eastern land because you
yes,
see an oil deposit and the car was created 3 years ago, 5 years ago.
exactly.
This is
Yep.
way, way long play. But in the future, I really do think it is going to be more advantageous to actually hold Ethereum than Bitcoin. You will be able to make money on it by simply having it and utilizing a little bit of your electricity to run other people's apps. Whereas with
Yep.
Bitcoin, that's not necessarily the case. We're going to get to a point where these volatile swings are no longer really that volatile because we have so much money invested in it already, and people aren't going to be buying and selling to the same extent. Once this thing hits 500K I mean, I can't give a price prediction of when that's going to hit, but it will hit eventually. There's going to be so many heavy hands in Bitcoin that it's going to fluctuate. Like these 30% drops are no longer going to be a thing. A crazy day is going to be like a 10% drop, an 8% drop.
I look forward to that.
So do I. Very much so. But yeah, I think it just reinforces that right now is the time to buy again where no one is looking. So
Right.
I think that's a good place to end it, Eric.
I think so too.
All right.
So, if you liked what you saw today here on the Cash Furnace, we need you to just do us 3 easy free favors. Great return on investment. Like, comment, subscribe.
That's
Hit
right.
that notifications bell and share this with someone who you think would benefit from this information. And help us reach more people and make money for more people.
That's right. All right, everybody. Cash Furnace out. Peace. Nice.
All right.